All right, people of the state of Michigan versus Joseph Gerwig, 237768 SM. Mr. Gerwig appears from the Dickinson County Jail. His attorney is David Kivisari. Mr. Kivisari, I can see the corner of your shoulder. You're over there with him. Is that correct?
Yep.
There you are.
I'm here, Your Honor. It's not a wide angle screen here, so.
All right. Attorney David Kivisari appears with Mr. Gerwig from the Dickinson County Jail. The prosecution does not appear this afternoon of their own choosing. We are set for sentencing this afternoon on this false report of a misdemeanor conviction. In respect to the matter, a pre-sentence report has been completed. Have you had a chance to review that with Mr. Gerwig then, Mr. Kivisari?
Yes, we have reviewed it, Your Honor.
Is there anything delineated there of a factual nature that doesn't appear to you to be accurate?
No, Your Honor.
In respect to the matter, the pre-sentence report, I don't think reflects a middle name, but I've corrected that on the complaint. Is there anything else with the pre-sentence report that does not appear accurate to you, Mr. Kivisari?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything you'd like to say then on behalf of Mr. Gerwig before the court imposes sentence?
Yes, Your Honor, I would. This is very concerning. As Mr. Gerwig's attorney and his counselor, I'm very concerned about what's going on with him and how concerned with the fact that he keeps ending up in here and can't seem to extract himself from the situation involving his ex-wife. And I do agree that this is probably the safest thing for him to be doing right now is being away from it all. But I do think it's of the utmost importance that he be afforded an opportunity to get some serious counseling to address not just his alcohol issues, but everything else that might be going on with him that is causing him to act out. I've never seen a bad, I've never seen myself any indicators of bad behavior, but obviously he lands himself in here, and he has done so time and again now recently. So I understand the recommendation. I would just be asking the court to consider also including some sort of mandatory counseling for him so that we can try to make him better. But I do agree that generally speaking, what we have here is probably for the best at the moment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kivisari. Mr. Gerwig, do you need a moment to collect yourself before I ask you if you want to say anything?
No, Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Gerwig, this is your opportunity if you wish to say anything before the court imposes sentence.
No.
No? All right, Mr. Gerwig. Well, I don't think I have to tell you that your decision-making was wrong in respect to this matter, and you've continued to compound it with 2 bond violations. Essentially, alcohol, I think, is the driving factor here. It makes you lose your inhibition and ability to control your rational thought, and then you violate the terms or like in this case, trying to get back at her because you were angry with her that she's apparently moving on in a relationship by calling a false report of a 911 domestic going on at your former significant other's residence. That is wrong on so many levels. One, it's wrong to her. You know that. I know that. It's wrong to the people that live there. They have to be invaded and troubled and interrupted by the police unnecessarily. And then let's talk about the people that might have been in harm's way that you have now distracted the police from serving because you have made a unilateral and selfish choice to use up our limited resources and time with a bogus complaint on 911. That's not appropriate. You know that. I know that. That's dangerous to our community. That will not be tolerated, Mr. Gerwig. And I'm confident that if he had not been drinking, it probably would not have happened. So I think that you got to take that and live with it and chew on it and sleep on it for a while and figure out how you're going to deal with your alcohol consumption, because it's dragging you down, sir. I don't know what else to say. This happened right before Christmas, the 23rd. You had a bond violation on January 5th for contact via Facebook with the protected individual and registering a .107 on a PBT. When you pled to the underlying, the prosecution dismissed the bond violation, but now we're here back again on another bond violation for essentially the same type of thing, drinking. And being on the premises again, Mr. Gerwig, that's a no-no, absolutely no-no. And so, Mr. Gerwig, the order of the court for that at this point in time is clear. You've suffered a high BAC in April of 22, an OW impaired in July of 21, an embezzlement in March of 21, an assault and battery in February of 22, and then some older stuff. So these more recent offenses are the direct result of your inability to control your alcohol consumption and your anger and other issues. So basically, sir, I'm not going to put you on probation. And as your attorney has stated, he wishes that you would get into some long-term counseling or something to address these issues so that you don't continue to come back. And I wholeheartedly agree with him. And I see your mom is here in the courtroom as well. She stood by you steadfastly. You got 100 times more than a lot of people going when you've got family members that are willing to stand beside you and help you, Mr. Gerwig, but she can't do it. You have to do it. She can be there to support you. You have to make the decisions not to consume alcohol and to live a life that is law-abiding. So if you want to get into counseling, I highly recommend it. It's not going to be a court order. You should do that. And there are lots of services that are available out in the community. There's services that are available free of charge. I don't know if you've tried North Point to see if you qualify for services over there, but those are all possibilities. There is Smart Recovery, that's free. You can call in online. That's a peer recovery type of group. All of those things are available to you if you want to avail yourself of them. That's really up to you at this point, sir. But if you keep coming back, you're going to keep going to jail. I don't know what else to tell you. The fines and costs on this false report of a misdemeanor are $590. The crime fund fee is $75. The justice system assessment fee is $50. Comes to a total of $715. I'll order a monthly payment commencing 30 days after his release from jail. Mr. Kivasari, Mr. Gerwig, what can you reasonably make on a monthly basis?
Your Honor, it was my understanding that Ms. Gerwig, present in the courtroom today, has the money in full, although I would give her an opportunity to correct me if I'm wrong.
Mrs. Gerwig, did you want input on that?
I have it.
All right, so she says she will pay that in full today. Thank you, ma'am. I'll order that it be paid in full. I'll just put the next 7 days, and you can go on down there if you wish after court. All right, I'm going to order 60 days in jail with credit for 9 days served. Mr. Gerwig will be eligible for good time under the sheriff's scheme over there. Mr. Gerwig, I'm going to read you your appeal rights because I don't think you were tuned in when I read them to the rest of the group. If you wish to appeal the sentence of the court today, you can take an appeal to the circuit court. However, that has to be taken within 21 days of today's date, which is the date of sentencing, or as permitted pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 6.625B. If the sentence includes incarceration, and if you wish to file an appeal but are financially unable to retain a lawyer on appeal, you can apply to have a lawyer appointed for you through Michigan Indigent Defense Commission State Appellate Defender Office to see if you qualify for a lawyer on appeal. However, sir, that has to be done within 14 days after your sentencing. Do you understand that advisal, sir?
Yes,
All right, that'll be on the back of your order of sentence. Yours will be yellow and copy. That's down at the bottom, Mr. Gerwig. Your order of sentence, you are responsible for all of it. Everything that's on the left, on the top, anything that's checked. And I will say, and I haven't for the record, that you are to keep the court advised within 7 days of any change of address, phone number, and or employment until paid in full. Assuming Mrs. Gerwig goes down and pays that today, that obligation ends today. But if for some reason she doesn't, that is a requirement until paid in full. Do you understand that?
yes,
All right. Do you have any questions, Mr. Gerwig?
no,
Mr. Kivisari, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then. Thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Gerwig.